3 Deadliest SCPs Files Automated Reading. Number 3. Item, SCP-096. Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-096 is to be contained in its cell, a 5m×5m×5m airtight steel cube, at all times. Weekly checks for any cracks or holes are mandatory. There are to be absolutely no video surveillance or optical tools of any kind inside SCP-096's cell. Security personnel will use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure SCP-096's presence inside the cell. Any and all photos, video, or recordings of SCP-096's likeness are strictly forbidden without approval from Drive and O5. Description: SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. Subject shows very little muscle mass, with preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, with no sign of any body hair. SCP-096's jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is not yet known whether SCP-096 is blind or not. It shows no signs of any higher brain functions, and is not considered to be sapient. SCP-096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside its cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views SCP-096's face, whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the first viewing, SCP-096 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, who will from this point on be referred to as SCP-096-1. Documented speeds have varied from 35 km/h to km/h, and seems to depend on distance from SCP-096-1. At this point, no known material or method can impede SCP-096's progress. The actual position of SCP-096-1 does not seem to affect SCP-096's response. It seems to have an innate sense of SCP-096-1's location. Note: this reaction does not occur when viewing artistic depictions. See Document 096-1. Upon arriving at SCP-096-1's location, SCP-096 will proceed to kill and data expunged SCP-096-1. 100% of cases have left no traces of SCP-096-1. SCP-096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. It will then attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat. Data redacted. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation secrecy and large civilian loss of life, retrieval of subject should be considered alpha priority. Drive has also petitioned for immediate termination of SCP-096. See Interview 096-1. Order is awaiting approval. Termination order has been approved, and is to be carried out by Drive on data redacted. See Incident 096-1A audio log from Interview 096-1. Interviewer, Drive. Interviewed, Captain RET. Former Commander of Retrieval Team Zulu 9A Retrieval Incident 096-1A. Begin log. Time, Research Area. Captain, it always sucks ass to get initial retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of besides what jacked up information the field techies can scrape up, and you're lucky if they even tell you the whole story. They told us to bag and tag. Didn't tell us jack shit about not looking at the damn thing. Drive, could you describe the mission, please Captain? Yeah, sorry. We had 2 choppers, one with my team and one on backup with Zulu 9B and Drive. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction, else he would have taken us out then and there. Drive, your report says SCP-096 didn't react to the cold. It was OC Captain, actually, it was. And yes, it was butt naked and didn't so much as shiver. Anyway, we landed, approached the target, and Corporal got ready to bag it. That's when Drive called. I turned to answer it, and that's what saved me. The target must have turned and my whole squad saw it. Drive, that's when SCP-096 entered an agitated emotional state. Captain, yep. Interviewed now pauses for a second before continuing. Sorry. Got the willies for a second. Drive, that's all right. Captain, yeah. Well, I never saw its face. My squad did, and they paid for it up the ass. Drive, could you describe it a little more, please Captain? Pauses. Yet. It started screaming at us, and crying. Not animal roaring though, sounded exactly like a person. Really fucking creepy. Pauses again. We started firing when it picked up Corporal and ripped off his leg. God, he was screaming for our help, fucking A. Anyway, we were blowing chunks out of the target, round after round. Didn't do jack shit. I almost lost it when it started data expunged him. Drive, that's when you ordered the use of and papers are heard moving at 4 HEDT launcher. Captain, an anti-tank gun. Started carrying it ever since SCP got loose. I've seen those tear through tanks like tissue paper. Did the same thing to the target. Drive, there was significant damage to SCP-096. Captain, it didn't even fucking flinch. It kept tearing apart my squad, but with half of its torso gone. He draws a large half circle across his torso. Drive, but it was taking damage. Captain, if it wasn't showing it. It must have lost all its organs, all its blood, but it didn't acknowledge any of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all, though. It kept tearing my squad apart. Drive, so no actual structural damage. How many rounds would you say were fired at SCP-096? Captain, at the least 1,000. Our door gunner kept his GAU-19 on it for at least 20 seconds. 20 fucking seconds. That's 600.50 caliber rounds pumped into the thing. Might as well been spitting at it. Drive, this is when Zulu 9B arrived. Captain, yeah, and my squad was gone. Zulu 9B managed to get the bag over its head, and it just sat down. We got it into the chopper and got it here. I don't know how I never saw its face. Maybe God or Buddha or whoever thought I should live. The jackass. Drive. We have obtained an artist's depiction of SCP-096's face. Would you like to view it, Captain? Pauses. You know, after hearing that thing's screams, and the screams of my men, I don't think I want to put a face to what I heard. No. Just, no. Drive. All right, I believe we are done here. Thank you, Captain. Chairs are heard moving, and footsteps leave the room. Captain RET is confirmed to have left interview room 22. Drive. Let this be on record that I am formally requesting SCP-096 be terminated as soon as possible. End log. Number 2. Item: SCP-106. Object Class: Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Revision 11-8. No physical interaction with SCP-106 is allowed at any time. All physical interaction must be approved by no less than a 2/3 vote from O5 Command. Any such interaction must be undertaken in AR2 maximum security sites, after a general non-essential staff evacuation. All staff research, security, Class D, etc. are to remain at least 60 meters away from the containment cell at all times, except in the event of breach events. SCP-106 is to be contained in a sealed container, comprised of lead-lined steel. The container will be sealed within 40 layers of identical material, each layer separated by no less than 36 centimeters of empty space. Support struts between layers are to be randomly spaced. Container is to remain suspended no less than 60 centimeters from any surface by ELOIID electromagnetic supports. Secondary containment area is to be comprised of 16 spherical cells, each filled with various fluids and a random assembly of surfaces and supports. Secondary containment is to be fitted with light systems, capable of flooding the entire assembly with no less than 80,000 lumens of light instantly with no direct human involvement. Both containment areas are to remain under 24-hour surveillance. Any corrosion observed on any containment cell surfaces, staff members, or other site locations within 200 meters of SCP-106 are to be reported to site security immediately. Any objects or personnel lost to SCP-106 are to be deemed missing Kia. No recovery attempts are to be made under any circumstances. Note: continued research and observation have shown that, when faced with highly complex random assemblies of structures, SCP-106 can be confused, showing a marked delay on entry and exit from said structure. SCP-106 has also shown an aversion to direct, sudden light. This is not manifested in any form of physical damage, but a rapid exit into the pocket dimension generated on solid surfaces. These observations, along with those of lead aversion and liquid confusion, have reduced the general escape incidence by 43%. The primary cells have also been effective in recovery incidents requiring recall protocol. Observation is ongoing. Description: SCP-106 appears to be an elderly humanoid, with the general appearance of advanced decomposition. This appearance may vary, but the rotting quality is observed in all forms. SCP-106 is not exceptionally agile, and will remain motionless for days at a time, waiting for prey. SCP-106 is also capable of scaling any vertical surface and can remain suspended upside down indefinitely. When attacking, SCP-106 will attempt to incapacitate prey by damaging major organs, muscle groups, or tendons, then pull disabled prey into its pocket dimension. SCP-106 appears to prefer human prey items in the 10 to 25 years of age bracket. SCP-106 causes a corrosion effect in all solid matter it touches, engaging a physical breakdown in materials several seconds after contact. This is observed as rusting, rotting, and cracking of materials, and the creation of a black, mucus-like substance similar to the material coating SCP-106. This effect is particularly detrimental to living tissues, and is assumed to be a predigestion action. Corrosion continues for 6 hours after contact, after which the effect appears to burn out. SCP-106 is capable of passing through solid matter, leaving behind a large patch of its corrosive mucus. SCP-106 is able to vanish inside solid matter, entering what is assumed to be a form of pocket dimension. SCP-106 is then able to exit this dimension from any point connected to the initial entry point examples, entering the inner wall of a room, and exiting the outer wall. Entering a wall, and exiting from the ceiling. It is unknown if this is the point of origin for SCP-106, or a simple lair created by SCP-106. Limited observation of this pocket dimension has shown it to be comprised mostly of halls and rooms, with data expunged entry. This activity can continue for days, with some subjected individuals being released for the express purpose of hunting, recapture, data expunged. Addendum. SCP Review Notes. Due to the exceedingly difficult to contain nature of SCP-106, SCP is to be reviewed every 3 months or during a post-breach incident. Physical restraints are impossible, and direct physical damage appears to have no effect on SCP-106. Current SCP, as of, revolves around basic observation and immediate response. Previous, more proactive special containment procedures have been recalled due to the events of breaches, and notes on behavior. SCP-106 appears to go through long periods of dormancy, in which it will remain completely motionless for up to 3 months. The cause for this is unknown, however, it has been shown that this appears to be used as a lulling tactic. SCP-106 will emerge from this state in a very agitated state, and will attack and abduct staff and cause gross damage to its containment cell and the site at large. Recall protocol data expunged. SCP-106 appears to hunt and attack based on desire, not hunger. SCP-106 will attack and collect multiple prey items during a hunting behavior event, keeping many alive in the pocket dimension for extended periods of time. SCP-106 has no determinable limit, and appears to collect a random number of prey items during an event. The inner dimension accessed by SCP-106 appears to be only accessible by SCP-106. Recording and transmission devices have been shown to still operate inside this dimension, though recordings and transmissions are very degraded. It appears that SCP-106 will play with captured prey, and appears to have full control of time, space, and perception inside this dimension. SCP-106 appears data expunged. Recall Protocol : In the event of a breach event by SCP-106, a human within the 10 to 25 years of age bracket will be prepped for recall, with the compromised containment cell being replaced and restored for use. When the cell is ready, the lure subject will be injured, preferably via the breakage of a long bone, such as the femur, or the severing of a major tendon, such as the Achilles tendon. Lure subject will then be placed in the prepped cell, and the sound emitted by said subject will be transmitted over the site public address system. SCP-106 will typically begin to gravitate toward the lure subject within 10 to 15 minutes after hearing the subject. Should SCP-106 not respond to the initial broadcast, additional physical trauma is to be administered to the lure subject at 20-minute intervals until SCP-106 responds. Multiple lure subjects may be used in the case of major breach events. SCP-106 will typically enter a dormant state after finishing with a lure subject. In addition, subjects may data expunged. Revision 11-7. No physical interaction with SCP-106 is allowed at any time. All physical interaction must be approved by no less than a 2/3 vote from O5 Command, and may only extend to testing situations. All staff research, security, Class D, etc. are to remain at least 30 meters away from the containment cell at all times, except under direct order from Site Command. SCP-106 is to be kept within a sealed container, comprised of 16 layers of lead-lined steel, each separated by no less than 18 centimeters of open space aside from minimal support struts. Said container is to be kept suspended by a continuous current system within a fluid medium. This medium is to be replaced in 48-hour cycles, and constantly monitored for any corrosion intrusion. Any corrosion observed on any containment cell surfaces, staff members, or other site locations within 200 meters of SCP-106 are to be reported to site security immediately. Any objects or personnel lost to SCP-106 are to be deemed missing Kia. No recovery attempts are to be made under any circumstances. SCP-106 does not have a docile state. Any reduction in activity or increased compliance from SCP-106 is to be deemed a luring tactic immediately preceding an aggressive action, and treated as such. Note: observation of SCP-106 has shown a slight resistance when passing through lead or other similar metals. The thickness of the material appears to make no difference. In addition, multiple layers of thin material appear to slow SCP-106, forcing it to enter and re-emerge multiple times. Fluids also appear to temporarily confuse SCP-106. Note: SCP discontinued due to multiple surface breaches. Agitation system continued to disperse corrosion during breach event, resulting in multiple breaches and full containment failure. Revision 11-6. No physical interaction with SCP-106 is allowed at any time. All physical interaction must be approved by no less than a 2/3 vote from O5 Command, and may only extend to testing situations. All staff research, security, Class D, etc. are to remain at least 20 meters away from the containment cell at all times, except for mandated maintenance and re-evaluation checks. Containment cell must be held suspended in a secondary cell, the walls of which must be at least 30 meters distant from the outer walls of the first or primary cell. The secondary cell is to remain under total observation at all times, and be both illuminated and clear of any and all debris. Any items, movement, or non-normal activity noted within the secondary cell will result in a full site lockdown. Lockdown will be maintained until a situation normal dispatch is issued by Site Command. Any corrosion observed on the primary cell, secondary cell, staff members, or other site locations within 200 meters of SCP-106 are to be reported to site security immediately. Any objects or personnel lost to SCP-106 are to be deemed missing Kia. No recovery attempts are to be made under any circumstances. Note: SCP-106 does not have a docile state. Any reduction in activity or increased compliance from SCP-106 is to be deemed a luring tactic immediately preceding an aggressive action, and treated as such. Note: SCP discontinued due to escape percentage. Number 1. Item: SCP-682, Object Class: Keter. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-682 must be destroyed as soon as possible. At this time, no means available to SCP teams are capable of destroying SCP-682, only able to cause massive physical damage. SCP-682 should be contained within a 5m×5m×5m chamber with 25 cm reinforced acid-resistant steel plate lining all inside surfaces. The containment chamber should be filled with hydrochloric acid until SCP-682 is submerged and incapacitated. Any attempts of SCP-682 to move, speak, or breach containment should be reacted to quickly and with full force as called for by the circumstances. Personnel are forbidden to speak to SCP-682, for fear of provoking a rage state. All unauthorized personnel attempting to communicate to SCP-682 will be restrained and removed by force. Due to its frequent attempts at containment breach, difficulty of containment and incapacitation, and high threat of Foundation exposure, SCP-682 is to be contained in Site Redacted. The Foundation will use the best of its resources to maintain all land within 50 km clear of human development. Description: SCP-682 is a large, vaguely reptile-like creature of unknown origin. It appears to be extremely intelligent, and was observed to engage in complex communication with SCP-079 during their limited time of exposure. SCP-682 appears to have a hatred of all life, which has been expressed in several interviews during containment. See Addendum 682-B. SCP-682 has always been observed to have extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes, though exact levels vary with its form. SCP-682's physical body grows and changes very quickly, growing or decreasing in size as it consumes or sheds material. SCP-682 gains energy from anything it ingests, organic or inorganic. Digestion seems to be aided by a set of filtering gills inside of SCP-682's nostrils, which are able to remove usable matter from any liquid solution, enabling it to constantly regenerate from the acid it is contained in. SCP-682's regenerative capabilities and resilience are staggering, and SCP-682 has been seen moving and speaking with its body 87% destroyed or rotted. In case of containment breach, SCP-682 is to be tracked and recaptured by all available mobile task forces, and no teams with fewer than 7 members are cleared to engage it. To date, attempted breaches have numbered at 17, while successful breaches have numbered at 6. See Addendum 682-D. Addendum 682-B, portion of recorded transcript of Begin Log, skip to 00H21M52S. Drive, now, why did you kill those farmers? SCP-682, no verbal communication. Drive, if you don't talk now, we will remove you from this attempt and place you back into SCP-682, incomprehensible. Drive, pardon motions to move microphone closer. SCP-682, incomprehensible. Drive, speak up. To personnel D085, move the mic up closer. SCP-682, they were incomprehensible. Drive, to personnel D085, that microphone has only so much gain, move it closer to it. Personnel D085, his throat's messed up, man, look at it. He ain't talking, gasps and screams. SCP-682, appearing to assault D085's body, they were disgusting. Drive, retreats from the room. End log. Addendum 682-D, breaches with SCP-682. 1. First occurrence, handled by Agent Kia, Personnel D129 Kia, Personnel D027 Kia, Personnel D173 Kia, Personnel D200 Kia, Personnel D193 Kia. 2. Second occurrence, handled by Agent Drive, Personnel D124, Personnel D137 Kia, Personnel D201 Kia, Personnel D202 Kia, Personnel D203 Kia. 3. Third occurrence, handled by Agent Kia, Personnel D018 Kia, Personnel D211 Kia, Personnel D216. 4. Fourth occurrence, handled by Agent TSGT, PVT, Light, SSGT Kia, COL Kia, PVT Kia, Agent Kia. 5. Fifth occurrence, handled by Personnel D221, Agent Kia, Personnel D028 Kia, Personnel D111 Kia, Personnel D281 Kia, Personnel D209 Kia. 6. Sixth occurrence, handled by Agent Personnel D291 missing in action, Agent Kia, Personnel D299 Kia, Personnel D277 Kia, Personnel D278 Kia, Personnel D279 Kia. Addendum 682-E, Termination Options. Log of Event 682-E18, Drive attempts to use SCP-409 on SCP-682. General, and Drive observing. 0400, Exposure. SCP-682 began to tear at the point of contact, causing massive trauma to the area. SCP-682 requests several times to know what it has been exposed to. 0800, Crystallization begins, spreading much slower than normal. 1200, SCP-682 shows signs of extreme pain, and begins having seizures. 1300, crystallization stops at 62% conversion. Crystallized area explodes, causing massive physical trauma to SCP-682. 1400, SCP-682 recovers from exposure, despite the loss of limbs and organs. SCP-682 begins regeneration, stating that it will attempt to kill and consume all staff involved in Event 682-E18. SCP-682 appears to now be immune to SCP-409. Use of other SCP items to terminate SCP-682 must now first be tested on samples of SCP-682 before full-scale testing. In accordance the Drive-S recommendations, see Document 27B6, Drive and Drive have requested permission to attempt the termination of SCP-682 using SCP-689. The request is currently pending approval from the. It has also been suggested by Drive Gears to use SCP-182 in an attempt to communicate with SCP-682. SCP-182 has expressed reluctance, and refuses to enter the containment center of SCP-682, if at all possible.